guess what stood out probably the most was the visits, the visits to the farms. Not necessarily because of the farming they were doing, but because it's sort of representative of what's going on in the Highlands in terms of the agriculture there. We're there because of the poverty. So I think it's really meaningful that we're partnering with Diaconia to help those people that are in the greatest need.
We're at our second project site up in the Andes. When we went to visit the farmer that made his own sprinklers with the bottle caps and stuff like that. That project site as a whole and the people there really stuck out to me.
They know their land like the back of their hands, and to me it was really moving because my father knows his land that well, and they love their land. They love their land in Caspan, they love their land in Saskatchewan, and so I found it was a very universal thing.
It was just breathtaking and stunning, and just so different from the mountains I'm used to at home, which are just, solid rock. And then you come here and there's fields all over them, and, trees and grass and waterfalls. And
started hiking, I couldn't breathe, so I had to take the mule up the side of the mountain, and that was really interesting. When I was going up, there would be like tree branches that were hanging very low, and if you were just walking, it would have been fine, but because I was sleeping up higher, I kind of was in the way, so he would actually stop and like pull them all down and pull them away so I wouldn't get like smacked in the face with a branch or a cactus or something, so that was really cool.
This is an alpaca sweater. We got it when we were in Cusco, the first day when we were doing our tours, and we stopped off at the alpaca shop, and they taught us what's real and what's not. It's cozy.
It was very eye-opening for me. God's awesome ability to give people the knowledge to create that. So to give me the strength to push through, and it made me appreciate the group for their encouragement and staying behind and waiting for me, and lots of bug bites, and it makes for a fun adventure. Yeah.
Young people are just great to work with because they're so enthusiastic, they have their whole lives ahead of them, they're really excited about things that they can bring back and share with their family and friends and share the stories. I mean, they're already everybody's making presentations in their congregations and at their schools and to their family and friends, and I think that the word and the work of CLWR will spread through this trip, and I think it is a really extremely valuable experience to have for the participants, but also an extremely valuable thing for CLWR to do on a regular basis, to take people to see the work, because when you see it firsthand, then you're able to share and engage people, and that's really it. That's the point of we want to engage youth and young adults, and I think that we
Another thing that really struck me was just the energy within worship, as we were really in community with one another and sharing, and it was very, I felt very loved and very warm based on having everyone there with me, and just presence of God was really present, I felt.
This trip, we've all seen and experienced God in so many ways. I think the very first thing that happened to me was when we were sitting in the service at the nighttime, and a little girl just came up to me and gave me a kiss on the cheek, and it was really beautiful. And then
personally, the area that had the most impact was Martin's church, and the work that he was doing with the youth in Marquez. When he was saying that they don't see much beyond Marquez, and coming here can have an impact on them in terms of expanding their horizons and their dreams and their potential. I can see that as like a result of being here. Like if that small thing can happen, then that's a positive outcome.
My name is Martin. I am 27 years old. I support like volunteer here in Luz Divina. I do not live here in Marquez. I live in Lima, 1 hour here. But I love, this is my passion, yeah? This is mi pasión, yeah? Yeah, this is the school. The name is San de las Mercedes, Virgen de las Mercedes. Okay. The name of the church, the school. Sorry, I'm confused. I am nervous to be in front of the camera. Here, this is like I said, it is a sport space, yeah, where the people can, where the children can do some sport like volleyball, like football, like you can see there, yeah.
Well, the first city was like my aha moment, I guess. There were so many children, and like there's a really like knit community. Like they're all like celebrating Mother's Day, and they all like the church was full of children, which is really unusual. Like my church is not full of children. And then us being there, I think, made them even more excited.
What has struck me the most here is that maybe the principle that we've seen in agriculture, where Peruvians here will take care of their own family and then the community at large, and then only after that point will they take their produce to the market. And so I think that's something that has struck me, that family is so central here in Peru, and so I've enjoyed the community aspect here quite a bit.
First farm where I met Rosa, she really struck me with just how strong she was. Like she just kind of took charge of her own farm, and the way she was the only one that had the say. There was men all around her, but it was like Rosa was the one that you go to for things.
Definitely found that with Rosa when she said, I get to work as a woman and a man. It was kind of the thought that there's specific gender roles, and sometimes in Canada it doesn't seem that way as much anymore. Just kind of seeing the difference of what's expected here for a woman or a man in Peru, and that definitely kind of struck me, just like that's different, yeah.
I think it's just really struck me how we tell people what they need, and in actuality they already know what they need, and they have the means to do it, and they have the knowledge and intelligence and skills. They just sometimes need a little bit of help, And I think that's what Diakonia has done, and it was really encouraging to see that.
Just the whole day kind of turned into a total faith walk of complete trust because, well, we hit a rock slide, so what else are we gonna do? You know, we were so eager to get in there and like help move rocks, like, you know, let's go. But it just made me think that, you know what, this happens all the time. What our way, which we might think is the best way, isn't gonna be the best way. They deal with this all the time. So it's just, you know, kind of nice to sit back and learn a different way of, you know, maybe doing something.
Well, I'm not really someone who knows much about agriculture, but just having heard things about the politics and science of corporate farming and the issues that are going on in more developed countries, what CLWR is helping these farmers do is kind of maintain their independence from the government to continue producing really good organic stuff.
And they're so open to us and welcoming of us and appreciative of us. It's such an honor just to be part of that travel and be able to share in that experience.
When we went to the Lutheran church, Crystal Ray, we were having a wonderful dinner ourselves on the top of the roof. It was gorgeous. I mean, my heart was so full already of joy and love for the people we've been with and the trip we've had. And the church this morning was so loving.
Music is very important. I loved worshiping with the two Lutheran communities that we did worship with, and since I couldn't sing, I was kind of disappointed. But I loved listening to everyone singing together, and everyone in our group made an effort to sing in Spanish, and then even our little impromptu English thing at the very end of the last church service. I love the music.
I guess I was just struck by the service on Sunday morning when the pastor said at the end, "I'm so proud to be Lutheran." And I thought that was an amazing thing because we don't say it very often. And I'm so proud to be Lutheran too, and I think I'm more proud now because I've seen the work that we do and the partners that we connect with and the people that we help, whether or not they're Lutheran. So I think seeing those farmers and making that connection between that and how we worship and how it's the same other places are definitely the two highlights for me.
I think it affirmed or sort of solidified in my mind that the work that CLWR does in the world is more about creating bridges and relationships, particularly between the Northern Hemisphere and the Southern Hemisphere. It's, you have need, we want to help you, this is how we live out our faith, and this is how we want to, as Canadians and Lutherans in Canada, want to sort of work towards more just living in the world.